Howdy, folks. Welcome to the show. Let's talk about the Eastern Conference Finals and how they went down between the Florida Panthers and the New York Rangers. As I'm sure you know by now, the Florida Panthers are going back to the Stanley Cup Finals, and for 5 years in a row, a Florida team is representing the East. Though a Florida team hasn't won in the last two, it's still very impressive. Now, the Florida Panthers absolutely controlled the New York Rangers. That's no secret. It was well talked about how often and by how much Florida was outshooting the Rangers. And while it is important to outshoot the other teams, sometimes it just doesn't matter. Because sometimes you're playing Igor Shesterkin. This isn't the first time the Panthers are playing a great goalie in the playoffs. They played Vasilevsky in round one, who wasn't normal Vasilevsky, but was still pretty dang good. And when I mean normal Vasilevsky, I mean playoff Vasi, which is not normal. But still, pretty good goalie. Then they played Swayman in round two, who did pretty well. And Shesterkin was probably the toughest goalie they faced, and still came out on top. Game one resulted in a 3-0 shutout for the Florida Panthers in what was otherwise a tight game. Game 2 and 3 were also pretty tight. New York winning Game 2 at home in OT 2-1 in their first and only game of the series where they would outshoot the Panthers. Game 3 also ends in OT and also ends with the New York Rangers winning, this time 5-4. Bobrovsky needed to be better, and he would. So with Shesterkin, though, Game 4, it's OT again. This is in Miami. Game 3 and 4 were in, it's Sunrise, near Miami. Florida wins this OT match 3-2, outshooting the Rangers 40-23. Game 5 and 6 go to the Panthers, winning in New York 3-2, and then winning at home 2-1. They did not touch the Prince of Wales Trophy, and they move on to battle for the Stanley Cup for the third time in franchise history, looking for their first win in franchise history. Looking at the stats, like I said, it's pretty obvious that the Florida Panthers were the better team. But as I've talked about in the series, it's not about being better. It's about winning the game. Because sometimes there is a difference. And usually that difference is goalie. Now, Bobrovsky wasn't bad at all. He still had a good series. He's not playoff Bob from what we saw last year, but he's absolutely doing well. There isn't really any reason to doubt his abilities. But he is still doing good. So I'm not really going to talk much more about Bobrovsky. The best example to show the difference between the two teams is shots on goal. Florida averaged 8.6 more shots per game than the Rangers did. When it came to high danger shots, they averaged nearly 3 more high danger chances. So the Rangers actually scored more in high danger chances with a very impressive 20.5 high danger shot percentage. So I did say I wasn't going to talk about Bobrovsky, but now I'm kind of thinking about it's like the Oilers are very good at creating high danger chances, and if Bobrovsky's coming off a series where he saved less than 80% of the high danger chances he's faced, which isn't bad. I think the league average was around 79. You want above 80%, but it's okay to be under 80%. But against the Oilers, you're going to need to be better than that, because they will have more opportunities than the Rangers were managed to get. Anyways, still, Bobrovsky did fine. He did good, really. But again, so did Shesterkin. The only other advantage the Rangers had was they outblocked the Panthers, but that's more of a product of being in your own zone a lot than being a better blocking team. In terms of hitting, the Rangers did hit, but not as much as I thought they would, and not as much as the Panthers, who have been the best hitting team all year. They hit the Rangers 1.51 times per shot the Rangers got off. Florida also had a slight favor in the faceoff circle, scored more in the power play, and had more opportunities on the power play. And, shut down the Rangers' power play with a 93.3 penalty kill success rate. The Rangers had an elite penalty kill coming into round 3, and it was demolished, dropping to 73.7% during the series. The overall playoff penalty kill still in the 80s, but for the series, they were coming in with a 90%, and they during the series they had a 73.7%, which is another important thing. Talking about the Oilers, they have, I think, 27, 28 successful penalty kills in a row. They are the best penalty killing team in the playoffs, bar none. Panthers are close. We'll see if the Panthers power play can hand a similar fate to the Oilers. But that's in a different video for now. We're talking about the Florida Panthers and New York Rangers and where they go from now. Of course, the Panthers move on, as I've said 2 or 3 times now, to the Stanley Cup Finals to face the Edmonton Oilers. Meanwhile, the New York Rangers will be going back to the drawing board on how to support Shesterkin better. And perhaps there are concerns about scoring. A lot of their big-name guys didn't show up as much as you'd like. Like Panarin was fine. Zibanejad was... Actually, Zibanejad could have been better. But Lafreniere showed up, though. But your big-name guys didn't really. Neither did Chris Kreider. On the plus side for the Rangers, Vinny Trocheck had an amazing playoff run. Last year, he only had 1 goal for his lone point in 7 games with the Rangers. This year, I think he had almost 20 points. He also had 64 hits, and he was a block per game. Vinny Trocheck was amazing. I liked Jacob Trouba, but I know that's going to be controversial, so whatever. But I like Jacob Trouba. I thought he was fine for the playoffs. There's lots of good playoff players here in the Rangers, but it is going to be a conversation to be had about where did the scoring go. Is that more have to do with the system and that the Rangers system isn't, or players aren't producing enough shots, or is it just snake bit in the playoffs? Lights are too bright. I don't think the lights are too bright, but it will be a conversation that's had. But Shesterkin is once again not going to be a concern. Rocky start to the regular season, finished really as one of the better goalies in the league, as he usually does, and had one of the best playoff runs of any goalie in the series, but not good enough to steal another series for the Rangers. So they'll go on to the offseason thinking about what they can do coming up, and if they can win the President's Trophy again. Did the President's Trophy cause a curse? I don't think so. I don't think the President's Trophy is a curse, but that does warrant a deeper dive video. And what you do see is when a team wins the President's Trophy, it means they probably won't win the Cup this year, but that's kind of the case for every team, but they'll probably win within a few. So the Rangers, I suspect, will be back. Anyways, that's it for this video, and I'll be back for reviewing the Oilers and Dallas Stars, which I am very elated to review for all of you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you later.